We use the term sexual assault here in Nevada. Does that mean the same thing as rape?
Yes, the NRS statute uses the term sexual assault, but it's most commonly known throughout the country as rape.
And what is rape, or how is rape defined under Nevada law?
It's defined as unlawful sexual penetration without the consent of a third party.
And sexual penetration is?
Sexual penetration could be unlawful intercourse. It could be using your hand or your tongue to enter, for example, the vaginal area to penetrate the vagina. That would constitute sexual assault.
So it would be vaginal penetration, obviously, anal penetration?
Yes.
What about oral sex? Is that encompassed here?
Oral sex, if it involves sexual penetration, would constitute sexual assault under the Nevada statute as well.
Let me ask you, what about a situation where a person is drugged or unconscious? So let's say I go on a date with a woman and we go to her place and she's drunk, she passes out, and I have sex with her while she's passed out. Is that rape? Is that a sexual assault within the law?
It is. In essence, under the law, for someone to engage in sexual intercourse, they have to have the ability to consent to engage in sexual intercourse. So that if somebody is either intoxicated or unconscious, under the law, they lack the ability to consent to engage in sex. So, what might be perceived by one person as, a pickup at a bar and a one-night stand, it's risky behavior, because if the other person, for example, is intoxicated in a blackout state and then they emerge from that blackout state in the middle of the sex act, I've seen cases where the party will claim, well, I didn't know what I was doing or how I got here. I didn't consent to this. So yes, sex of an unconscious or intoxicated person can end up resulting in a charge of sexual assault.
Basically, there's a lack of consent in that situation.
That's correct.
I know you've represented a lot of people accused of rape, both in Nevada and California, and I know you said before that a lot of innocent people get accused of this crime. Well, why is that? Why do people make false accusations of rape, or why are there misunderstandings in this area?
Well, I gave an example previously about use of alcohol. It's very common. A lot of people have gone out, met somebody, had consumed a lot of alcohol, and thought that they were engaging in consensual sex. Sometimes one party will claim that they didn't know or they didn't understand what was going on. I mean, this can be a very difficult thing to prove sometimes. I actually tried a case where my client met a girl at a bar. They went and had sex. In the middle of the sex act, she got up and left. Later claimed that she didn't know how she got there, that my client had sex with her without her consent. But I was actually able to show, with the use of a forensic toxicologist, that although she may not have, at some point during the act, may have disconnected with what was going on, that she had made, that notwithstanding the fact that she had been drinking, that she had made volitional choices. And I had videotape showing her leaving the bar, showing her using the handrail as she walked down the stairs of the bar, which showed her using, engaging in volitional decision making. And in essence, what the forensic toxicologist said was that just because you don't remember the event afterwards, it does not mean you weren't making volitional choices during the course of the event, and a jury found my client not guilty, in essence finding that the complaining party had knowingly chosen and engaged in sexual conduct, even though thereafter she may not have recalled making those decisions.
A lot of people think that there's no reason a woman would accuse a man of rape if it didn't happen. I mean, I think a lot of prosecutors look at it that way, a lot of police look at it that way, but really that's not true. Really, there are a lot of false accusations. I mean, not just misunderstandings, but literally lies, where a person will falsely, maliciously accuse another person of rape. What are some of the motives for that sort of behavior?
Well, there can be many. I represented a defendant in Las Vegas who was having an ongoing flirtation with a coworker. Actually, he happened to be the boss, she was his employee. But I had witnesses who all testified that they had seen them engage in conduct, flirtation, and that there appeared to be some kind of, sexual tension between the two of them. She was married. At some point in time, they had sex. Thereafter, she complained and said that it was rape. Why would someone make a false allegation? A married woman might feel guilt or shame that she succumbed to temptation. And then in order to try to rewrite it, I mean, the mind can, I think it's not uncommon for, the subconscious perhaps to, you feel guilt, you feel shame, so you rewrite the story in your mind instead of, I felt some passion, I gave into the passion, I wanted to have sex with him. It was, oh my God, I'm married, I can't be doing this. Wait a second, I didn't choose to do this, he raped me. So I think, and this was a case where the jury found my client not guilty because they believed that she was consensually engaging in the sex. And I think she was motivated to fabricate the allegation to try to preserve her marriage thereafter.
So she may have been trying to get attention and sympathy from her husband?
That's a possibility.
Or I mean, I suppose also it may be a situation where he found out that she was having an affair and she tried to explain it by saying that she was raped.
Or perhaps her own inability to manage her shame and guilt and knowing in terms of how she was going to process it, maybe she couldn't keep it to herself or was going to share it with her husband, or maybe she was looking for attention from her husband and to make her feel like she had been victimized by someone. I mean, you can't always know exactly what's going on in someone else's mind, but we do see situations where people will make false allegations. Sometimes it could be that a woman is vying for the attention of a man. Maybe she can't get his full attention. She knows that ultimately she's going to lose out and not succeed in winning his affection or attention, so she could do it out of spite. So, it's documented, it happens. I've seen it happen. I've seen juries acquit. And from my perspective, I would say that rape allegations in particular are difficult cases for the prosecution to prove.